storytelling, or story selling, as we're going to say today. So I've had 39 jobs at 39 different companies to get here today. 39. I'm just going to let that sit for a minute. Yeah. Let's take out the 9 that I had before I graduated college. Those were the popcorn at SeaWorld, professional ballerina, as well as a certified babysitter was my first job. And then you get to 30. It's still a lot. That's a big number when you think about it. And before you start to do the math and think I'm either a very well-preserved octogenarian or that maybe I was a genius, like 14, graduated college, I can tell you both are not true. So neither of those. Maybe you had commitment issues. Like that's where I go next, right? I've been married for 21 years. I am the person that starts a book and reads the first page, the first chapter, and I hate it. I absolutely hate it, and I will finish every last page of that book because I'm committed to it.
I agree with the great story.
Oh, that's okay, no problem. Okay, so no commitment issues, no really well-preserved octogenarian, not a childhood genius. Okay, the next thing is I'm really bad at my job. Must be, right? Like I've done it at everything else. I've won awards, I've been promoted, I've built teams, I've had exits, I have people follow me from company to company. And so I've landed on I must be really unlucky. That's all this was left. I'm not bad at my job, I don't have commitment issues. And so I must be really, really unlucky. And that was a narrative I told myself for a really long time. The next one's going to be it. I'm going to get to that next company, and we're going to have a huge exit, and it's going to be amazing. Guess what? It still hasn't happened. And my mom is keeping American greetings in business, because every single time I change jobs, 39 of them, I get a congrats card. Literally. I actually begged her to stop sending me cards, because I thought it was a bad luck charm at this point. She still hasn't. I still am getting them. And so let me tell you a few of those stories. I joined a company here in New York. I was really excited. It was right on Chelsea Pier. I got 2.5 times my base salary of the previous company. I was like, yes, I finally made it. Go and join the company, get a couple months in, and they've given me a really scripted demo to follow. Like, you need to go in and demo this and type in these exact words when you get to the demo. Wouldn't you know it, the first in-person meeting, the guy goes, hey, can we check in some different words that apply to my company? Sure, let's do it. Type them in, no results. Oh, let's try a different one. These are terms like marketing. They're not, bespoke words that no one would be able to follow. So type them in, come to find out the company is 100% vaporware. They have built nothing. They have nothing to deploy, and guess what? I never sold a thing. So leave that company, join another, and this is a company where I was recruited from a recruiter, big time recruiter, not somebody you've never heard of. I went through all the paces. I interviewed with the board, and I was super excited. This is the CRO role. This is what I want. This is kind of like the pinnacle of my career. I accepted the job, and I think I asked all the questions, right? What are sales, revenue, what's our average contract value, how many sellers, I go through paces. And I get there, and 5 days in, I go to the CFO, and I say, can I run these numbers by you, because something's not right. They had inflated not only their pipeline, but their revenue so much that 5 days later, we laid off 75% of the company. It was the biggest blow. My team went from 20 salespeople to 2, and that is on pre-sales and post-sales. And I thought, God, here it is, that unluckiness again. Why? What is wrong? Do I have a target on my head, right? And I've really come to realize that those 39 jobs, those experiences of seeing how founders navigate the challenges, the pitfalls, the successes is my superpower. So what I thought all this time was unluckiness is why I do what I do today. It is why I advise companies like Dextegon. It is why I started my own consultancy. Because there's so much power, not only in seeing what's successful and being able to execute it, but knowing what's around the corner and what mistakes people shouldn't make and helping them avoid that. And so my passion is in helping founders scale their businesses. And while I haven't seen every mistake, I've seen 39 times a lot of mistakes. And so I bring that experience into my day-to-day. So I'm Shannon Plumb. I appreciate the opportunity to talk with you today. I'm going to talk a little bit about storytelling, or maybe you want to call it storytelling. So just a quick agenda. We won't spend much time here, but just know that stories can come in so many forms. Dance, musicals, I was just talking about Broadway over here. And everybody has a story to tell. So it's not that you have had to do something incredibly special, like be an astronaut. Your day-to-day is all about stories. And so why is it important? One of my favorite quotes is that the shortest connection between two people is a story. You have to connect with them human to human, heart to heart, in order for there to be that authentic connection, for it to move beyond just a transaction. Nobody likes a transaction. I always hate the word transactional sales, because even if the sales are quick, it doesn't mean they're impersonal. And that word transaction in my mind is just impersonal, highlighted. So a Stanford professor did a study, and in this study, he gave a presentation to an audience, just like this. And after it, he waited 10 minutes. So they went and got coffee, went to the bathroom, whatever it is. And he said, okay, come back. How many people remember the statistics that I shared? Any idea what percentage of the audience remembered statistics?
10%.
5%. Okay, you guys are close. 0, 10%, 5%. What percentage do you think remembered the story?
At least 60,
80.
63% would remember the story. So you guys are 12 times more impactful if you tell a story than if you just use statistics. I want you to think about this next time you go to a company's website. What's the first thing you see on a website? 75% ROI, 25% more efficiency. Nobody really cares. They really care about how you're going to change your life, what value you're going to deliver to their role and to their company. So that's what's important. So if you want to inspire somebody, get them to say yes, sell something, the lesson is tell a story. And so what makes a great story? There really are a couple of key points here. And who knows the astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson? Awesome. He's an amazing storyteller. Have you guys listened to some of his interviews? He's so eloquent. He is so composed. And you think, how can someone who's an astrophysicist, who obviously has a big brain, right, has been incredibly successful, be so good at storytelling? And his secret is that he has written down every single sentence he says in public. So he's prepared. He doesn't go and just fly off the cuff. He's not winging it like so many people tell you to do. It's prepared. But it's not prepared in the fact that it feels memorized. It's not like reading a script when you go into a demo. You know those people that are reading the AI answers to interview questions now? I don't know if you guys have seen this on LinkedIn. It just blows my mind. It's got to come from the heart. It's got to feel authentic. So memorize it and then forget it. Touch on the key points and then let the details fill themselves in. They will. No problem in a story is another, this conflict. If you don't have a problem, who cares? If I came in here and I was like, I had the greatest career ever, and had 500 exits, and they'd be like, whatever. You can't resonate with someone who's perfect. So show that authenticity is incredibly important. Again, that's being relatable. The next one is knowing your audience. So who am I speaking with? Why do they care, and what's in it for them? Just honestly, nobody cares if it's all about you. You've got to make your audience, your prospect, the hero of your story. They're the ones that need to win in your story. And then finally, everyone loves a mystery. If people told you how everything ended, just like a good movie, I wouldn't go to the theater to see it. So just to raise your hands, which of these is the most impactful part of the story? So those who think A, which is relatable characters, raise your hand. Okay, I got 4, 5, 6, 7. B, clear conflict and resolution. 3, okay. And C, a compelling lesson. Okay, I would say probably A and C are tied. All important parts of the story, but definitely you can see there's a lot of varying opinion on this. So let's talk about elevator pitches 101. Elevator pitches are really important because you need to get a story across in a short period of time. Someone's not going to stand there for 5 minutes and listen to your life story. So how do you deliver it with punch? The key is really asking great questions and starting that conversation. If you get me engaged, I will spend 30 minutes with you. I will want to hear all the ins. It's like what I tell all the sales reps and founders I coach. It's not about answering all their questions in the beginning. It's about getting to that next meeting. It's about getting to the next meeting after that. You want to slow it down to speed it up. And I think that is the most challenging thing for salespeople today is we want to just spew and throw up everything that we know about our product, every fact, every feature and functionality, when really nobody cares. They only care about the value you deliver. So make it short, make it adaptable, authentic, and very outcome-based. So the hook, incredibly important. You guys, who writes on LinkedIn here? Right? Everyone talks about the hook. It's that one sentence that you can see at the top of that LinkedIn post. You're like, I've got to read more, right? That feeds the algorithm code to go, oh, this person must have influence. People are spending time. They're seeing more here. So the hook, you know, had all these jobs just to prepare for this. What's wrong with this one? That's what I'd say. How to use stories in sales. So it's really about building excitement. It's about keeping it going. And has anyone heard of this Straight Times pyramid? Does this look familiar to anyone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Just a really classic, you know who uses this incredibly well is Hollywood. Every single movie, Hollywood, yep. Every single movie that you see, this is what they're using to get you engaged and hooked. It's capturing that attention and really engaging the long-term memory, keeping it in your mind. And so, who knows this movie? Anyone? Okay, shout out, what is it?
So, Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park, awesome. So if you haven't seen it, I really highly suggest you see it. So this is what I call my dinosaur demo. So stories aren't just for elevator pitches, they're also for every part of the sales process. So in Jurassic Park, what happens? They drive into a park and there's this huge suspenseful scene where you're like, what are they going to see? And they're just seeing birds and trees and it looks beautiful. And you're like, what's around the corner? Everyone's on the edge of their seat thinking, when is the dinosaur going to come? I know this movie's named Jurassic Park, but I haven't seen a dinosaur. And then all of a sudden the brontosaurus comes into view. And so think of your demos as Jurassic Park, the dinosaur demo. It's about what's around the corner. It's about building that anticipation. It's about talking about the value and how you're going to solve that value, and then delivering it in such a bang that they go, I need to have that now. In order to do that, you have to connect viscerally. They have to feel that you feel their pain, and you have a solution to get them out on the other side. And really, this rushing of this part is what most salespeople do very poorly. They try to just spew it out and get to the point without building that anticipation. So, is anyone in here aspire to be a TED Talker? Okay, a few minutes. 65% of the best TED Talks, guess what? They all have stories. So if you want to deliver a really good TED Talk, tell a story. Okay, another poll. What's the biggest challenge that you face when telling a story? A, making it relatable. No? One? Okay. Making it engaging. Okay, a few more hands there. Finding the right story. Awesome. So I think B won this one out. I think it's really important to remember that everyone has a story. It's just pulling it out of your memory. It's just writing it down. It's just cleaning it up and making it simple. You want to tell visuals, you want to describe feelings, emotional, engage the senses. All those things are incredibly important to get people to feel what you're feeling. And so the science and art of storytelling. Anyone who works with me will use this analogy a lot. Sales is both an art and science. I believe storytelling is as well. I can come and I can teach you. You can read from a book, but actually doing something vastly different. I've read a million manuals on, I don't know, stars, and I'm still not an astrophysicist. I can read a book about mechanics, and I will never be an auto mechanic, no matter how hard I try, unless I get under that car and actually tinker with the car. So it's, parts confidence, emotion, and then finally care for prospects. You need to know that you really are genuinely caring that you are finding a solution for their problems. And the big part of this is mirror neurons. Has anyone ever heard that term? Okay, so it's like when someone goes, and then everyone in the room yawns, right? So when I get excited, you all get excited. And I slow down and whisper, because I'll lean in. So it's using your voice, your cadence, your expressions to get people to react. So when you're talking about a pain a prospect has, you're not going to be smiling, your voice isn't going to be happy. You're going to be really leaning, oh God, this is so painful. This is something you absolutely must solve to get people to feel that pain. And they have to go deep to feel that. And then finally, keep it a mystery. Tell the stories as if you don't know the ending. So you're engaged in that story as well. You know, the writers of Jurassic Park wrote that. They practiced it. They probably shot every scene 500 times, but every single time those actors looked like it was the first time they saw that dinosaur. So you need to do the same thing, especially as you are doing your demo 500 times a day, and it's like, oh, I've done this. You've got to feel like it's the first time for your audience, for your prospects. That is it. Thank you so much.